Welcome to a webinar about SpyGlass. You're going to learn a new search intent lead generation platform that we've launched in October, did some testing in October, but you're going to really get an in-depth view about how this is different and how it can help your businesses excel. Most of you are probably in real estate and or hospitality. Those are the case studies that we're going to focus on today, but SpyGlass works for any business whatsoever. So as you go through this, if you have folks that might be able to utilize this, then by all means, please share this with them. All right, so a little bit about me and kind of understand where all of this came from. So I've been a licensed agent and a real estate investor here in San Antonio area since 2014. My husband and I did this together. But I've also done every kind of real estate you can imagine. Distressed homeowners, a lot of full gut rehabs, especially historic, subject to wholesale, hotel, owner finance. I mean, you name it, I've done it. We also own a roofing company. My husband does. That's his primary business, is doing that. And we own a hotel out here in the Fredericksburg area. If you're not familiar, this is Texas wine country out here. It's a beautiful part of Texas. And we bought a hotel about 6 or 7 years ago and gutted that and relaunched that. I've always been a technology fanatic. Prior to that, I was in banking in New York and really kind of loved working with the developers there to kind of implement the products that we were pushing out to our client base nationally. And that's always stayed with me, and launched a travel app here for Texas wine country a couple of years ago, and just kind of scratching that itch. So I've done a lot of different things. I've had my toe in the water of technology for a long time. And when automation and AI came on the scene a couple of years ago, I really kind of threw myself all in for our businesses primarily. I really wanted to understand, how can I do things better? We're small operators, like I'm sure most of you are. Hiring people is expensive. They don't do it the way you want it done. And so how could I leverage this technology to help us from everything from marketing and lead generation to efficiency, and really just giving back us time to focus on more important things? So I launched Shift Smart end of 2024. That really is focused on go high level automations, review management, AI voice agents and voice bots, all of the fun things that come along with AI and automation. And that morphed into training agents for continuing education across for TREC, Texas Real Estate Commission. So I've been doing that for a long time, and ultimately morphed into what you're going to hear about today, which is SpyGlass, and really trying to understand, as a business owner, how can I do things differently? And so just to give you, especially if you're not in real estate, but you've probably felt this heartache over the last 10 or 15 years if you are in real estate. This was us about 2015. We were knee deep in renovation projects and really trying to capture motivated sellers that were either on foreclosure, probate lists, code compliance lists, all of those things that every other investor is focusing on. And I remember one month in particular, we had bought a $3,500 commercial printer. We had printed out 5,000 yellow letters for 30 days, sent them out. We spent 2 or 3 days putting all of this together on this brand new commercial printer, spent close to $10,000 between the paper, the stamps, mailing it, and the printer itself. And we did not get one phone call. Not one phone call. And it's disheartening to have spent that kind of money. But guess what we did the next month? And the month after that, we did pretty much the exact same thing. So there's been limited ways for us as real estate investors, but also as business owners, to leverage the kind of technology that's out there now, because it was reserved for the guys with big budgets. Well, that's changed. AI has really kind of democratized what we're going to look at. And while this may still work, it may give you options, there are other ways to do this much more efficiently and cost effectively. So we're going to talk about that today. So when we started with SpyGlass, we sat down and kind of, what's that nirvana? What's that that space of, letting somebody in. So when we started SpyGlass, we kind of sat down and said, well, what's the nirvana conditions of a marketing platform for pretty much any business that would give us the highest chance to convert that lead, but also do it at the lowest cost and the most efficiently. And this is what we came up with. We wanted leads to show up before they even filled out a form, right? We wanted to see who was looking for us or our solution to their problem wherever they're at. We wanted every lead to include full and accurate identity data. So I wanted to know not only who they were, but how do I reach them? How do I connect with them? I want their phone, their email, their address. I want that kind of data to get to me. And I want to know what triggered their need. So if it's a hotel, I want to know that they're planning a trip to Texas wine country. If it's a motivated seller, I want to know that they typed in behind on payments or sell inherited property, right? The more you know about these people before you call them or connect with them in any way, the better it is for you to build rapport and help to solve their problem faster and make you stand out among your competition. I wanted zero wasted ad spend. We're going to take a minute here talking about how Google and Facebook are great for certain things, but guess what? There's a lot of money and a lot of leads that you're leaving on the table, and we're going to talk about how we flip the script on that. Where are my leads coming from? Again, I have different businesses. I have different campaigns, probate versus code compliance versus foreclosure. So I kind of want to know where all of these people are coming from so that I can allocate my budget accordingly based on how successful I am. I wanted high quality leads only. So a lot of paid ads are bots that are just clicking and clicking. And so I wanted to know that intent makes them a quality lead for me, that they're typing in something that they've got a problem to identify and solve. Competitor traffic. So how do I sneak in? How do I get in front of Open Door or We Buy Houses? How do I find out who's looking for them and present my offer and get in there in a way that helps me convert? No forms, no clicks, no friction. We're going to talk about some data here in a minute, but asking somebody to fill out a form, particularly if they're in distress, is really hard to get any information out of them, let alone a lot of information. And so I wanted it to be, give me that information as quickly as possible without them having to do a lot. Instant and human sounding AI, that's completely separate. We do that with our Go High level. We have bots that can talk to motivated sellers in the middle of the night when we're asleep, pre-qualify them by asking them some questions, and then setting up an appointment to go out and give them a cash offer. That's something that you can do now and not leave leads on the table. So very interesting stuff. But this is where we saw the perfect lead generation platform coming into fruition. The good news is you can now have most of this today with what we call search intent technology. So what is that? So let's think about what Google is. So Google is search intent technology. Somebody, when you have a problem, no matter what it is, you're going into Google and you're typing something. Sell my house fast, behind on payments, avoid foreclosure, best hotel Fredericksburg, cheapest hotel Atlanta, whatever your problem is, Google is search intent. It's going to serve up ads as well as the listings of links based on your search and what it thinks that you want to see. Those are active searchers. They're high intent. They're reliable, particularly for us that are very hyper local. We can set that up. But there's high competition for those keywords, particularly sell my house fast and high foreclosure. So I have a client right now that's doing SpyGlass. She's spent a lot of money and time on Google, and we're going to talk about how she's spending north of $200 per click, not per lead, per click. And we'll look at some of her data. Expensive, very expensive. But you're paying for traffic and not necessarily conversions. So think about it. Google serves up your ad and 10 people go to your website, right? One of them, industry averages say one of them, 1 in 10, are going to convert and fill out your form and give you some kind of information or their email. The other 90 don't do anything. They look around, they leave, they may come back, but you're paid for that traffic. You've paid for that click. And when you're in a high competitive environment, like say, sell my house fast, that can get expensive really, really fast. Google knows who these people are, but when Google's revenue is 80% based on ad revenue, right, the clicks, they're not going to give you their information. Well, we're going to talk about how SpyGlass flips the script on that. Facebook ads are a little bit different. It's called latent intent. So they know a little bit about, groups that you've joined. Maybe you've done some posts. You've responded to certain keywords on posts themselves. When you go in and do a Facebook ad, if you've not done them, you have broad targeting, things like interested in real estate. Well, that's really vague. That could be somebody that's got, a $5 million portfolio and wants to expand on it, or that could be a motivated seller. We just don't know that. And neither does Facebook. They don't know if they're in that buying mindset like they do on Google. When somebody proactively types into Google, they're in a mindset to find information and or a solution. Facebook is the opposite. It's just interruptive. It will show your feed to whoever they think might be interested, but they don't know where they're at in that process. So the bad news about traffic on any paid platform is that 90% of the traffic never converts. They come, they look around, they get information, they fill out a form, they don't call you, they may not even fill out a form, they browse and they leave. You've paid for that traffic, and the problem is you can't follow up with what you can't see, right? You have no idea. You got the clicks number, but you don't know who's behind that information. So let's talk about what SpyGlass is, because that's exactly what SpyGlass does. And the easiest way to explain this is it's like caller ID for Google search. We're now going to be able to give you information at the point of search on any search engine. So let's dig down into what that exactly means. So you may be in the marketing, out looking in the marketing world and hearing about search intent marketing. Well, for most people, that basically means that you are creating content, blogs, articles, YouTube videos to connect to whatever that search term is, right? Somebody types in avoid foreclosure or help with payments, then you want Google to serve up your content. That's different than what I'm talking about today. Okay. We are doing search intent marketing, but we're actually providing the information and the data behind that person that is typing in. So when somebody searches sell my house fast, they're looking for a solution. They've got a problem and a need. We're going to give you that information at that exact moment so that you can do any number of things from a marketing perspective. And we'll talk about that. All right, so as we talk about SpyGlass, there's 3 ways to use SpyGlass. One, SpyGlass is a platform, a lead generation platform. We've got 3 options for you to leverage this technology. SpyGlass Detect is we're able to give you contact information and lead information for people that visit your website. Okay, we place some code on your website, and that's what allows us to give you that information, which we'll look at in just a second. SpyGlass Discover are keywords. So sell my house fast, best hotel, Fredericksburg, whatever it is that you're doing, you create a campaign around your designated keywords. And when somebody types those into a search engine, we are able to match them to their IP address and give you that contact information. So you're getting to them upfront at the earliest possible time in their decision-making process. These 2 products give you contact information. SpyGlass Predict, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is a different animal. This is geolocation, geofencing technology that allows you to put a fence around a property address, which you will get with SpyGlass, and start serving up streaming ads as well as TV ads, streaming TV ads. So we can put graphic ads on any website that's non-social, not Facebook or Instagram, but any blog, any article. If they are out there selling their ad space, we work through a company that now places your graphic ad with a link to your website. And then you can also do videos for streaming TV. So getting pretty powerful and pretty accessible cost-wise for everyday folks like us. All right. So digging down just a little bit deeper. So detect, again, this is the website. We put some code, we get contact information. You get name, address, other demographic information. You can connect it to your CRM. So if you've got Go High Level or any other CRM, you can integrate that should you choose to. But you can also integrate on our platform with direct mail. So I know a lot of us in the real estate field are still keen on postcards and little yellow letters. You can do that automatically. This is about saving you time. So when a lead comes in, it's set up to send out a custom designed postcard that's branded for you. This is great for people that already have high traffic to your site. So if you've done a great job with organic traffic, or you're constantly posting and driving people to your website, this is the perfect way for you to capture that lead information. Or you're already running paid ads. So remember, 1 in 9 don't convert. Well, if we can match them, the other 9 you're gonna get the information for the other 9, because I can now capture that with SpyGlass, and you're driving up your ROI and exponentially increasing the ability for you to convert some of these folks. Okay, SpyGlass Discover. So these are keywords. It could include your competition. So you could put Open Door in here, or Keller Williams, or Best Western, or whatever keyword competition that you are looking to focus in on. You can pull that in there, or it can be other keywords. Same information comes across, real-time intent signals. You're getting all of that at the earliest point of their research, when they're just starting to type in. And you're engaging them at that peak decision stage. So think about us as real estate investors. By the time they get on a foreclosure list or a probate list, it's too late. They've got 50 investors knocking at their door, calling. They've got 100 of the same yellow letters piling up in their mailbox. They may have already left the house. It's too late to rise to a level that you're able to get their attention. If you can find a way to do it up front at the earliest point in time, that's what we're talking about. So you want to engage people that are searching for very strong keywords like sell my house fast or best hotel in the area. And you're also wanting to engage with people that are searching for your competitors. So that's Discover. All right, so let's drill down just a little bit, because you're probably asking, well, how does this thing work, right? So anytime somebody puts in a keyword search into Google or any search engine, they're looking for information. You don't ever know if somebody that's typing in avoid foreclosure is the person that's actually in foreclosure. They could be searching for somebody else, but you're able to connect with that person. We're not giving you personal finance. I have no idea if they're in foreclosure. Again, they're just looking for information, but that's a high intent signal that they're looking for themselves or for somebody else. We go out and we map them to available public information, appraisal district information. We pull cookies. We look at lead lists that have been sold and are out there publicly. So there's thousands of data points that we try and match and give a reasonable confirmation that the person that typed that in is this person, and then serve you up that information. So before I move to the sample data, are there any questions that you guys want to talk about? Anything that I can answer? You can drop them in the chat or raise your hand. So far, so good. All right. So what kind of sample data do you get? So this is redacted, of course, but this is my client who started with us back in early November. So she's been running for 2 months now. This is one of her campaigns. And you can see we get the day that they come in, first name, last name, any email that we can track down, any phone numbers, and the physical address of the people that are typing that search in or landing on the website. Important is the keyword. So these are the ones that we focused on, but look at behind on payment. So I'm going to assume that many of you are here in San Antonio. There was a Ken's article over the holidays that 1 in 7 San Antonio mortgages are behind on payments. I'm sure that's in a lot of different cities and territories, but you can see that was really a driving factor for the leads that she's getting, is that they are behind on payments, so that the earliest possible point, foreclosure help, motivated sellers, sell inherited house, behind on payments, quick home sale, sell property now. So you create these keywords and we can help you figure out where to find the best ones if you're unsure. But these keywords, so you at least know why they're coming, and then this is basic information. If you want, based on your business, you can start to get other marketing information, gender, marital status, information on the home itself. We go out to the appraisal district. Do we think they're renters or are they homeowners themselves? What's the value of their property? This is great for you that are doing rehabs, and we kind of want to get into that and get some basic information without having to ask the lead for that. Household income, net worth, discretionary income, even some range of credit score. And then some other softer marketing. Do they have kids? Are they pet lovers? Are they into fitness? What do we think their occupation is based on signals that we found out in the internet world? So again, you don't have to get all of this. You can just get the basic information as you go through an onboarding process. If this is something you're interested in, we'll show you how to do that. But I wanted to show you that you get a ton of data. And these are all leads that have come into her up until the end of November. I stopped. I counted this morning, and you'll see some numbers. She's well over 900 leads of what we would consider motivated sellers. Okay. I saw a chat in here. This is being recorded, so I will send this in an email to you guys as soon as I clean it up. So you'll get this, absolutely. All right, so let's go back and see where we're at. Okay, so how do you market to these leads, right? The logical question that should come to mind is, how do I pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them, oh, I saw you were typing in that you're behind on payments. I'm a real estate investor. How can I help you? Or I know you're planning to come to Fredericksburg. I own a hotel. Would you like to stay with me, right? That's very aggressive. It's very hard to imagine doing that to somebody. So we have developed other ways to help you market to these people, to build credibility, get your name, logo, business name in front of them in a number of ways. And then if you so choose to directly contact them, that is a business decision on your part. We encourage you not to do that for the reasons that I talked about, but that's your business and you decide what to do with the information that we provide. So what do we do here? So there are 3 ways that we can help. So detect and discover leads come into your funnel, come into your spreadsheet. Again, you can call, email, or text. I have to disclose that we do not scrub our information against do not call lists. And if you're in Texas, you've got SB 140 and other things to think about. So again, build that, just full disclosure so that you can make some decisions. The best thing that we've seen so far, particularly for the hotel side, is we are automatically setting up these leads to be pushed daily into a custom audience for Facebook and doing Facebook custom audience campaigns. And I want to make sure that everybody understands what that really means at the end of the day. Can you give me there's no right or wrong answer, but if you do not know what a custom audience is and the impact that it can have, just drop a no in here into the chat. All right. Okay, so I've got 1 no. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little background of what this is. So when you go into Facebook, like we talked about, you pick broad categories, interested in real estate. Well, what a custom audience does is if you have their email address, which you have now because of SpyGlass, you can create what's called a custom audience. So that when you build an ad around your custom audience that continually grows every day, remember you're getting SpyGlass leads every day and we're shoving them into that custom audience group, Your ad is shown specifically to the people that are in that custom audience. Okay, so as a business owner, sure, it's great if I have 1,000 people coming to my website for the hotel on a monthly basis, but I'm more interested in getting the people that were just searching in the last 24 to 48 hours for Fredericksburg lodging. I would prefer them coming to my website, and I can get that to them. I can get to them with a custom audience Facebook ad. Okay, so big change in how you can market to these people. Direct mail. So we have contracted with a company that will allow you to do direct mail. So this can be a 6 by 8.5 card that is custom designed, or you can provide us art that has your message, your promotional offer, your QR code, whatever it is that you want to do, but we're also able to personalize it. Hey, Anita, we are looking to buy houses in your area. I wonder if you'd ever consider an offer on 123 Main Street. Please give us a call. We're offering cash and can close pretty quickly. That's a less threatening message than, hey, we saw you were on our site and you noted that you're behind on payments. Can we help you? And so that card could have gone to anybody in the neighborhood. But again, it's a touch point. It's a way to get them fully automated. You set it and forget it, and you just hopefully get the phone calls coming into you. Then you have streaming ads. Because we're throwing up and giving you the address, the physical address, you are now able to do geofencing and surround these people with your ad, whether it's a graphic ad or a video ad, and start to serve that up on any non-social website that they're on. It could be a blog, it could be a news site, whatever it is that's selling ads. So let's talk about that, how that works. You set up a predict campaign, that's what this is called. You throw up at least 50 addresses, upload that into the system because that's where it's going to start targeting. It puts a geofence around that address and attaches to any device that comes within that geofence location. Laptops, iPads, iPhones. It could be the mom and dad in the house. It'll be the kids. It could be the neighbor who happens to come in for dinner or whatever it is. If they come within that location, it attaches to their devices and starts serving up ads. Even if they leave the location, it sticks with them. So you're now, again, focusing your marketing dollars on exactly the people who are asking for help. Okay. CTV, so you can now do streaming TV. That just launched for us last week. So before it was just web-based, you can now place your ads on Amazon and YouTube. Prime, if they're selling ad networks or ad spaces, you're able to slot your way into there. One thing to note, you do not get contact data with Predict. So you're uploading your existing data. So think about re-engaging with a list of prior clients or customers. If you've got their physical address, you can now easily start to show your ads. But also those of us who are buying lead lists, foreclosure, probate, code compliance, you have the physical address, you can load those up, because that's all we need, into a Predict campaign and start showing your ad and driving traffic to your website. All right, any questions before I move on to a case study? So far you're a quiet group. So far so good. Getting something out of this. All good. Let me hear something in the chat. Thanks, Jay. All good, great info. Okay, just want to make sure you guys are still with me, okay? All right, so let's go through some case studies. It's actually two case studies. So we're going to talk about my real estate investor client. She's fine with me sharing some info with you guys because she was one of our guinea pigs while we were testing. And then we're going to talk about our hotel here in Fredericksburg and show you some actual data from that because, again, it's something easily for me to access. So, real estate investor first. So, she's focused in San Antonio. She does retail. She does dispositions for a lot of different people. She does her own acquisition business and some other staging things and lending that they do. So, she's a pretty big player in San Antonio. She has been focusing on Google Ads. That's tried and true, working with a specialized company, third-party company that does ads for real estate investors finding motivated sellers, Google Ads only. We launched a discover and a detect campaign focusing on keywords that we all know: sell our house fast, sell my house fast, behind on payments, etc. And we started this in early October. The hotel, we did ads statewide. We know enough from our business that we get mostly Texans. I'd say 90% of our business is Texans who want to come to wine country to explore. So those are the keywords that we focused on. And we ran 3 different campaigns. So we've got a little bit more data there to share with you. So what happened with the real estate investor? So on Discover, she has, this Discover and Detect. So both her website and her little bit on her website, but mostly through keywords. 881 leads since November 3rd, all with contact information, just what I showed you except redacted. Predict, we ran, and we're going to revamp that. We stopped it for a little bit, but she got 25,000 rather impressions and 21 link clicks from people that were interested in her message. We sent about 3 weeks ago, at the early start of this, 554 postcards that were 6 by 8.5 that had her personalized message about giving cash offers and sending that out in a non-threatening language. She spent $2,800. The last I saw from the third-party management company, she is spending north of $52,000 that went for pay-per-click and management ads and has converted 110 leads. That means 110 people have given her information. That's not what she has actually closed. So think about all of the other people who clicked on that at $250 per click that she did not capture their information. So why are we not capturing that ad info or that traffic info? Because we're driving so much from Google and paying for that traffic. For her, it's because we're just getting the code onto her landing pages. That company manages and holds and builds those funnels. So we've just gotten that code installed and they're kicking up ads again. So now I'll be able to give her even more data for Detect, because I'm going to capture the other 90% of traffic that she's paying for that's not converting. So for her, the strategies are direct mail. She's been wanting to do direct mail, but didn't have the bandwidth to do it. We're now doing it automatically. And we're going to kick up Facebook custom audience campaigns now that we've got more info coming in. So from there, we can do lookalike audiences. So we're building this ecosystem of different types of marketing to make her message prevalent with real estate and motivated sellers. So this is just a snapshot. We can design this again, or you can do your own with your own message. And then here, which is unique on the right-hand side where the address goes, we had it printed to say, hey, Anita, we're looking for homes in your area. Would you ever be interested in selling 123 Main Street? Please give us a call. And for all that homeowner knows, this card could have gone to everybody in the neighborhood, and it's a less threatening message. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the hotel. So the hotel is very different. We don't do direct mail. I don't think that's an appropriate message. We have always had success with Facebook and did a lot of that early on when we bought the hotel in 2019 through COVID. And then we just stopped in the last year. We've got a big mailing address, lead list from past clients, and did, the benefits of that paid ad budget that we spent years ago. So we market to our audience, and we've got a little bit of a following. So We started a detect campaign to capture people that are coming to our website. We did a discover campaign for those keywords that I keep mentioning, and you can see almost 1,500 leads in the last couple of months, basically coming to us with all of that contact information. Hotels are very visual, so we did a predict campaign with a graphic. We just started a video campaign in the last day or so, so we're seeing the fruits of that. And 48,000 impressions, 71 links. I've spent about $4,000 between SpyGlass and the Facebook ads. And when you take that back and look at the industry average of 90% don't convert, I would have literally had to have spent about $26,000 on Google Ads to compete for that high traffic keyword of Fredericksburg lodging to equate to the 8,700 clicks that would have given me the 1,500 in leads based off my Discover campaign. So that's the way I think about it is, yes, $4,000 is a lot of money, but what would I have had to spend to get to that on Google? And I know that I'm getting to people that are much more interested in what I have versus just that occasional click. So what's the result, right? How do we gauge whether our return on investment is good? Well, 2025 has not been, for anybody out here, wineries, hotel, lodging, etc., has not been a great year. The economy's bad, interest rates, everybody's worried about what's going on. So we've seen a trend line of our occupancy going down and down for the first 10 months of the year. Part of the reason that we wanted to get this out there, we needed to change that trajectory. And that's what you're looking at here. So we did not run any Facebook ads this year or Google ads. We, again, relied on our email list and just people that knew us. And we were averaging about 25 to 40 people a day coming to our website. So 782 people during the month of September. October 26, we started SpyGlass, and you can see that tick up pretty much immediately. And then we have 3x'd our visitors to our website within 60 days. More importantly, is our bookings are up. So where I saw that trend line coming down in October, which is generally our best month because it's Oktoberfest and the weather's great, is now November was better in bookings than October, and December has surpassed December 2024. So I'm back going in the right direction and have stopped that. And I fully attribute most of this to what we've done with SpyGlass and the custom ads. So just a little bit, you see the transition just a little bit faster with something like a hotel business versus a motivated seller where the lead time is going to take a little bit longer for them to convert. All right, so wrapping this up, and then we'll get into pricing. I want to kind of keep you to 1 o'clock. We work across every industry. It doesn't matter, real estate, plumbing, legal, med spa, anybody who is relying on lead flow from search engines can take advantage of SpyGlass. We adapt to, the traffic and the goals that you're looking for by different types of marketing messages. These are instant leads. They're populated in batches at several times during the day. So every time you come back, you'll see that, and you'll also get access to a dashboard that looks like this. So when you come in, you have access to your campaigns. You control all of this. You set up your campaigns, you manage your budget, you change and add your keywords, you create your graphics. We do an onboarding with you. If you want us to run it, we can, just for an added charge, but you control all of this, okay? So if you don't like it or it's not working for whatever reason, you can turn it off and move another way. But here is where you access your Google Sheet. So each campaign gets its own Google Sheet of leads. You don't just get a click, you get all the identity information. It's a way to recycle all of your ad traffic, and it's a fraction of the cost of what Google and Facebook is charging because I'm not an auction site. I'm simply pulling data for you. So we've kept the ad cost, the lead cost down, and I'll share that with you in a second. But again, you'll have this, but just some ideas of people in your world that might be interested in this particular type of technology. So let's talk about pricing, because I'm sure that's the magic question out there is, what does this thing cost to do this? So first things first is you have to decide what kind of campaign you want to run. You don't have to do all three. You can do one as a test and figure out where you go. I'm seeing most of our clients are focusing in on detect and discover because they've got an existing website and they need keyword research. And then predict is something we look at a later date to scale because you've got a breadth of addresses to work off of. So once you decide what you're going to do from a campaign level, then you're talking about cost. And this is on our website. We put it up over the holidays, so no fret, it's transparent. You can do a pay per lead, or we just launched monthly packages to give you a little bit of a discount. So pay per lead is where everybody should and probably will start, just so that you can test it out. For Detect, which is the website, it's $1 per lead. And then if you want us to do direct mail, it's $2.50 per lead. That includes the lead information and the mailing of the postcard, okay? Discover, which is the keyword search, it's $2 per lead and $3.50 if you want us to do direct mail. Okay, so when you benchmark that against $200 for Sell My House Fast on Google or most other high intent keywords on Google and Facebook, this is a low cost way to supplement that traffic and that ad budget to convert as many as you can. Monthly packages, 20% savings over volume. So you can pick, you can choose to do up to 100 leads per month. It's $80 with a 20% discount, or $200 if you want the direct mail services. And then you can see up to $250 on Discover would run you $200 or $700 with the mailing, the direct mail. Okay, no contracts, cancel anytime. I'm not in this game to lock people down. Again, you control your budgets and your campaigns and setting them up. You can do as many campaigns as you want, but you control that. We do charge a $35 per campaign fee per month, and you can run unlimited if you want. So this is all a pay-per-lead platform except for Predict. Predict gets into the auction environment because we've contracted with a national company to go out and find those websites and streaming TV platforms that are accepting ads, meet your minimum or your requested ad spend per ad, and you have the graphic that fits that particular ad size, so everybody's happy, then it becomes an auction site. So we'll walk through some pricing on and give you some examples, but that's a lot of testing for 30 days to see what is working and how many clicks you get. But you can limit it to as little as $150 a month. That does have a minimum to connect with our vendor. Okay. All right. Optional add-ons, if you don't want to deal with any of this, you don't want to create your content, you don't want to set up your campaigns, you don't want to monitor them and change them up, we can do that, just throwing that out there. We do offer those services to help create all of this stuff for you and just be another channel that you're receiving leads, okay? All right, so we're gonna wrap up here and then stop for questions, but how do you get started? So if this is something you want to test out, I am giving away 25 free leads to test out on Detect or Discover. I will walk you through how to set these up on an onboarding call. I'm going to waive the $35 campaign fee for one of your campaigns for the first month, and you just sign up on there. Now, I don't have a technical way to do this free up front, so you will be asked to put your credit card in. It'll charge you $1, and then once you hit that 25 leads, I'm going to refund back your lead cost and your campaign cost. So putting it out there on video, you can record this and show it back, but I will refund all of that money for you to test it out, okay? And then you can want to talk more about this, you can learn more, including pricing is on shiftsmartai.com. You can also book a strategy call with me to talk about your particular business and how this would work, because maybe not everybody on here is real estate or hospitality. And then I also have a ton of AI training on my website and my YouTube channel. So if you want to learn more about AI, how to clone your image, how to clone your voice, do any number of things that are AI related, you can find all kinds of free training on those websites. Okay, so I'm going to open it up for any questions. And if you guys want to chat about anything, you just let me know.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Will this work for mortgage brokers? Like, I don't have a website, but I typically broker loans. Fix and flip, new construction, DSCR loans, all that type of stuff. So I just wanted to know, will this still work?
It will work, but I would encourage you to do two things. One is to check the regulations around your broker's license, being a mortgage broker. I hear there are some pretty strict requirements about advertising. So if you can solve that, because I spoke with a mortgage person a couple of days ago, and that's what she told me. So if you can
Yeah,
get them.
it's more heavily regulated
Exactly.
on consumer loans.
Okay.
When they're non-qualified mortgages, there's really no stipulations.
Then you're fine. So we would just sit and figure out what those keywords are, which you can go to Google Keyword Planner or Answer the Public. Those are two great platforms to figure out search volume, which keywords are high searched for mortgage brokers in your particular niche. And then yes, this would work. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Secondary question is, can you do two things at the same time? So, I'm a mortgage broker, but I'm also a real estate investor. So if I'm also looking for leads as well, how does that work?
So yes, and before I jump to that, I was also going to say on the back end, it doesn't sound like this would fit for you, but if you want to partner up with like somebody, a mortgage broker that is doing conventional type and has those restrictions, she's going to partner up with an investor to run those ad campaigns through SpyGlass, and then they'll divvy up the leads accordingly. So it's just a way to manage that. But to go back to your question, so yes, you can set up multiple detect and discover, and even predict. You can set up as many campaigns as you want, okay? And you put in your URL, so you'll have different URLs that you're going to drive specific traffic to, okay? And then on detect, you're actually going to get a snippet of code right here that will help you place onto your website. This is how I capture everybody. So you'll have different code for different websites depending on what you're doing, okay? If you don't have a website, then you need to look solely at Discover, and you will set up a campaign that functions off of geographic, either by city and state or by zip code, so you can get super niched down, and then your specific keywords, okay? That would be your only option. It's easy to set up a simple landing page to build credibility if you're going to explore this with your investing side of the business, but you don't have to do it. You could simply focus on Discover and find those keywords for people that are searching for help.
Got it.
Okay.
I think we may book a discovery call, because I have a lot of questions on how I can use this.
Nope, no worries. I'm happy to stay on afterwards if anybody's got any other questions, or you can set up a booking call and we can talk about it in depth. Anybody else?
Hello, Anita.
Yeah,
Hey, how you doing? My name is Brent. Great presentation.
thank you.
Yeah, I had a question. I first got wind of you when you came to Houston just recently for Angie's Mastermind.
Yeah, Stepstone.
Now, right. So I wasn't there physically, but I heard you speaking about the AI voice and how you can get the AI to pick up the calls for leads. And I was actually more geared to that and want to know more about that. And so I guess we would have to book a call for that, then, right? Or could you expand on that just a little bit more?
Sure. So you'll find a little bit of information on my website under other services, but basically I run I call it a CRM platform, but it's really so much more than that. If you're not familiar with Go High Level, it's a Go High Level platform that is a marketing behemoth in a box. That's all I can really tell you. Yes, it manages your client base, but it does email campaigns, social media planners. There's DocuSign functionality, so you can get rid of that. There is calendars, automations. It's infused with AI, and one of the things that you're asking about is, yes, you have the ability to set up AI voice agents and AI chatbots. Okay, so what the voice agent does is, and I have it here, or the chatbot on our website, is it is specially trained to answer any questions with a knowledge base that you train it on. The voice AI agent that we have for motivated sellers, we've actually created one already that we customize for your company, for your name or business, however you do it. And what it does is we create a phone number for you, a specific phone number, because everything is going to be recorded into our platform, ShiftSmart AI's platform, which is powered by Go High Level. And the phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning because they've seen your Facebook ad and they want to talk to somebody right then and there. It picks up the phone in a voice that is pretty humanistic, and we've trained it to be empathetic. We've trained it to ask specific questions like, well, can you tell me why you're selling? What's the address of the house, of the property? What's your timeline? Not a lot, just a little to get information. And then it will say, okay, we have the ability to schedule an in-person visit, so we can kind of come and look at the house and see the condition of the house and give you a cash offer. Do you want to do that? I have tomorrow at 2 and 4 p.m. Or do you want somebody to call you back at 8 o'clock in the morning when they're back in the office? I'm just here to take information. So it can actually set up appointments for you. It can actually gather that information. All of it is recorded and housed in your back-end CRM. And then we set it up to send you a notification by text or email. Hey, you've got a lead. Check your CRM, give them a call, whatever the messages are. So all of that is set up for you when it comes to the CRM platform and the chatbots. But those chatbots and voice AI agents can be trained on any business whatsoever.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I was definitely interested in that. So my plan was in the next few weeks, I wanted to go ahead and start a PPC campaign. But I also wanted to see about integrating the AI voice, within my business to, obviously, help me out. So I guess the next step would be to book a call with you then, right?
Yeah, just go to ShiftSmart. Obviously, pay-per-click is the way to drive traffic, but I would come here to shiftsmartai.com and you'll see book a strategy call. Because I would highly encourage you to get SpyGlass set up so that traffic you're going to start paying for, we're going to get you that lead information. And then we can work on the voice AI agents and chatbots as you do that. But I would highly encourage you to get SpyGlass because that way you're not going to leave anything on the table.
Okay, that sounds good. That'll work too.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, guys, so I appreciate your time. Again, I apologize about the Zoom. You're going to get an email probably this evening, if not tomorrow. It's going to give you a wealth of information, links to all of this, the video recording, etc. And please feel free to give me a call. Remember, you've got 25 free leads coming to you, so don't let that lapse. And I look forward to huge success with you guys and helping you, whether it's lodging or real estate or anything else, to do that. I will say lastly, we are going to hold upcoming webinars. I've got one for the 12th and the 21st that's going to focus on legal and home services. So please share this with other people outside of your competitive world, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of the day.